Hi, welcome to the summer class for Communication 100. I'm Shannon Scott. I'll be your instructor. This is my third time teaching the class. This is just a little intro before the class even gets started. Now, if you look below me on the Foxtail page, you'll see all kinds of stuff that's already there. That's everything from the last term. Most of it's still totally fine, but I will go through each week and update it. The best way to do this is don't get any further than a week ahead of me, because I'm usually going to be spending some time each weekend getting the next week ready. Just going through tweaking things, making sure some examples are up to date. Also, if I notice that some students are having a lot of the same kinds of problems, I might adjust some course materials in order to adapt to that, especially for the quizzes. So don't take any of the quizzes early. Make sure you wait until you do that. Now, after that, it's also important that you kind of get to know me a little bit. Since I'm the one who's going to be grading you, it's important for you to feel comfortable with me. So, hi, once again, I'm Shannon, and now my daughter Soren, a 10-year-old, is going to tell you the things that you should have ready before the class begins on July 5th. Take it away, Soren.
Okay, so the things that you will need are the textbook, which you will need a hard copy or an electronic.
That's the Clella Jaffe textbook. Any edition is fine because there hasn't been a whole bunch of updates from one edition to another. If you have an older edition, it can still work. I'll just have to help you hunt around to find the right readings.
Next, you will need a reliable computer.
And by reliable computer, what I mean is, I know a lot of people use tablets or phones for most of their computing, and that's fine. You could complete the class doing that. What I would suggest doing is surf around on the Foxtail page to make sure that your device can see everything and open stuff up. If you're having any trouble, that's going to be a major obstacle to the class.
The next thing you will need is a reliable internet connection.
Big time. This is one of the biggest issues. Now, I know that many of you might be traveling over the summer, so you might be going over the river and through the woods to Grandma's house and finding places where the internet connection is kind of old school. Remember, I'm sorry, you took a Comm 100 class online, so I didn't have a good internet connection is pretty much never going to be a good excuse. It's okay if you're going to be out of connection for a day or two, but make sure to plan accordingly. And I can also help you with some ideas if you're having trouble on that.
The next thing you will need is a working camera, either built into a device or standing alone.
All the presentations you're going to give in the class are going to be done on video. That could either be through a phone. Most phones are just fine for this kind of quality. Although notice what I did with our iPad. Make sure that you always do the videos horizontally because it makes people's gestures easier to see and also shows up larger on most screens. So don't do the vertical video. It tends to make life a little harder for us. Secondly, most people pay attention to the video, but they don't pay attention to the audio. So make sure you test yourself a couple of times before you do the first video to make sure that the environment doesn't have any loud air conditioning, traffic, maybe a goofy dog like the one walking by us right now. Anything that's in the environment that might make the speech tougher to give is something you want to control. It's one of the requirements of taking the class this way instead of doing it in the classroom. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
How do you think they're going to do? We will see. Nah, you'll be fine. Okay, turn it off.